Hi, this is Bruce Lindsay working with Liz Gallo on our continuing project to document the stories of veterans. Today we are with U.S. Army medic Max Culbertson. Max was a corporal in the U.S. Army from 1953 to 1955 and was in Korea right after the end of the Korean War.
I grew up over in Perry County. I was born up near Whistler. And we moved away up there when I was 4 years old, moved down to the Cooney place. And from the Cooney place, went down to the Kell place, my dad's farm all his life, you know. Then there we back up to Andersonburg up there. Then I went to school at the Landsberg High School. Got out in 52. Went into service in 53, medical corpsman, U.S. Army. And I was in there till 1955, April 55, I got out. And I helped my dad on the farm. And then I went to work for Amp Incorporated for a year. And then I had a layoff, worked down U.S. Steel for 8 years down there. Then I got married in 1958, got married. And then we lived down at Mechanicsburg, lived in a trailer down there for a few years. And then 1970, we came up here and bought this house in 1970 and been living here ever since, you know. And then I worked up at Carlisle Tire and Rubber for a year. Then I worked for AMP for 20 years down at Camp Hill, living here. And then I retired from AMP in 1989. AMP had an early out, so I retired. Then my brother-in-law got me in 2004. He signed me up for the Boys Spring VFW. So I've been down there. So that was a good cause, Boys Spring VFW. So that's what I've been doing. And then I've been retired and looking around here. So a bit busy on the go all the time, doing something. So that's what I've been doing.
Great. So do you want to talk a little bit about when you got drafted and where you went and a little bit about your training maybe?
Yeah, I got drafted in 1953 from New Bloomfield. Got drafted in, then I took a boot camp down in Virginia, Camp Pickett, Virginia. Down 8 weeks training. Then I got out of training, the Korean War just ended, July 27, 1955. The Korean War ended. So I got out of training. From there, I went out to Colorado. I worked in a hospital, 121. He'd actually in the hospital out there for a year. And then from there, I went left there, went out to Seattle. From Seattle, went over to Korea. I worked in a hospital, burnout school. I was over there for a year. I worked in a school over there till I got
Discharged?
Discharged, yeah. 1955, April, I got discharged. So, but I did not mind going in because I seen a lot of country. I got traveled around and everything, so, yeah. So
Did you choose to be a medic, or did they pick you to do that specialty?
Signed up down in New Bloomfield. They put me in the Army.
Right.
And then I went. They put me in medical corpsman. Yeah, that's what they put me in, which was good. So I worked with different people, and then overseas I worked with people over here. We had guys coming in had that meningitis, you know, from dampness. I worked in there. I see a lot of guys passing on from that. So that's what yep.
So you were in Korea basically right after the war. What was it like where you were? Do you remember what part of Korea you were in?
When I went in after the war, boy, I was on a ship going over, and everything over there, and I got over to Korea, everything was all bombed. the trees and everything there from the war. It was all knocked down. It looked a little rough. Yeah. So I worked in a 121 evacuation. I worked in an evacuation hospital, not too far from Seoul, right close to Seoul. That school was burned out. That's where yeah.
So was the school burnt out from the war?
Yeah. The whole top is. Yeah.
Was there a lot of rebuilding going on when you were there?
Not too much, no. We had our camp, where I stayed. Our camp I stayed in, and I would get up and go to work at night, and then get off. And we had a place where we got off. We went at the school. They had a place there where you go in and get something to eat in the morning. So I was there a year. Yeah.
Was this a rural area, or were you in the city? Was this out in the farm country, or were you in the city?
It was sort of out mostly in the farm.
Did you see a lot of the rice paddies?
I would go once in a while. I'd go up to Seattle. I mean, not Seattle, but Seoul. I was driving. Then that was built. That was built up. Yeah, but where I was, it wasn't too built up. No, because it was all bombed out, the school and stuff. But we had our camp, boot camp set up. We had all the guys stayed. They had their bunk beds where we slept in and all that. Yeah, so I was over there for a year. And then I came back and got discharged, Yep, down in Virginia. I came out, got out. So that's why. But I had no regrets for going in, I got to see a lot of country and what was going on and to follow it, yeah.
Did you interact with the Korean people much while you were there?
Yeah, I used to have a Korean boy would come in, and they would give, over there, they'd give you a pack of cigarettes, I didn't smoke. So I'd get them, and he'd take out and sell them for, I think, $1 a pack. I made money. He'd take them out and sell them. So that's how boys on, yeah. That's what I did.
So how did you know this Korean person? How did you know this person?
Well, he used to come in there. I think he'd clean our bunk bed up. Took care of that. And that's how I met him. Nice boy, yeah, over there. Yeah, the people over there, the Korean people, they're pretty nice people, yeah. So that's what I spent my time staying there and worked in the school, burnout school every day, back and forth. Yeah.
So you said you were a corporal, is that correct?
Yeah, corporal, yeah.
Were you in charge of other people?
No. Nope.
As a medic, were you just treating the American soldiers, or did you work with the Koreans that were
Well,
there?
I worked up there, the burnout out in Colorado. I worked in the hospital out there. I would take wheelp around, and go up the wards. I'd give medicine, give shots, check them out, blood pressure. I did all that. I specialized in that. Wheeling people around, that's what I did. Then I had a buddy of mine out there I met, Wayne Wilson. We stayed, we had the barracks there where we stayed in, me and him, downstairs in the hospital there, place we stay. So I worked out there a year. I enjoyed that. That was nice, helping take care of people, so the veterans, the soldiers and stuff. Then I left there, went overseas, and then over there I worked in that burnout school, up the second floor. So I went around, gave shots, took blood pressures, and did all that, And we had, like I said, we had some guys got that meningitis. I seen a lot of guys passing on with that, being damp, with the dampness. So
Do you remember the name of the unit that you were in?
Huh?
The name of the unit that you were assigned to?
I forget anymore.
Okay.
But I know I worked at that burnout school for a year, and that's what I done. Yeah.
Did you?
And I met we had other fellows there, but we'd go out, run around while I was over there. So same way in Colorado. I was out there. I met Dwayne Wilson. We'd come into Colorado, in the town. Now, if you go out to Colorado, it's my God, it's all built up back then. That was back in 1950. That was back in 1953. I went in, yeah. 53, 54, 33 in Colorado. It wasn't built up. Then later on, back in 1978, I took a ride. Me and my wife took a ride out to Colorado. I didn't even know the place. It was all built up. Yeah. Big buildings and everything. Yeah. That's how things change. So it's, yeah.
So how old are you now?
91.
91.
Yeah.
And you're still active in the VFW?
Yeah, yeah. I do down there and do all the mowing. Since 2008, I've been mowing. My brother-in-law, Gary Blake, he got me in down there in 2004, so I take care of all the mowing. Yeah. I hadn't mowed lately. I imagine it needs mowed, but there last week, we had something going around, I picked up. We went to a funeral. Fern Landis, he was 102. He passed on. So Gary and me went to his funeral down to the Roman funeral home right down here off the York Road.
So it's almost 70 years since you got out, and you're still involved in the VFW. You must have picked up something about service to country, and you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got involved in the VFW, which that's a good cause, the VFW. Then I go to we have a post meeting, and then we had a canteen meeting down there we go to, canteen meeting and the post meeting, And we help we help a lot of people. We donate a lot of money to different causes. For different causes around, we get money out. So we help a lot that way. The VFW does a lot. Yeah, so they have. And then Memorial Day, this past Memorial Day in May, we had a parade. Every year we have a big parade. We get together. We have an old 1941 Jeep that General Eisenhower rode in. And so my brother-in-law, Gary Blake, his son Kenny, he was in the Navy. Gary was he was in the Air Force, and my brother-in-law was in the Navy. So Kenny goes over, he picks up the Jeep and brings it up, and we have that in the parade. I ride in the Jeep. I get up riding the Jeep. So we have to do that every year now. This month, at the end of the month, we have a Halloween parade coming up, and he'll go and get the Jeep, bring it over, and we'll meet down at the Boys Spring High School. About 5:30, we meet down there, and then we put on a big parade. Yeah. Then they'll pick up candy, and down Boys Spring, the kids the children are all lined. They're all lined up, on both sides of the streets in Boys Spring. They're waiting for that candy. We pick up about 2 or 3 boxes of candy, and we in the Jeep, and we throw the candy out both sides. And I see the kids, they just run out and grab, ready for the candy. They enjoyed that every year, doing that. Yeah, so that's coming up. And, I seen over there where we went in on the ship, pulled in, it was all bombed out, everything. But the people over there in Korea, and they had a little bit tough, the people. Now up in Seoul, up in Seoul there, it was all sort of built up, like a big town, big city. It was built up. But in Korea, you could tell when the Korean War was going on, people over there didn't have too good. Korean people, they had sort of rough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that you learned from your time in the military that you've used, like in the rest of your life, that you can think of?
Well, it learned you to appreciate life a little better. When you go over there and see how other people overseas, see how other people lives. So then when I got out, I helped my dad on the farm. He farmed all his life. And that was, so you work pretty hard. He would farm, I think he'd make $5,000 a year, and he'd end up about $2,000 left over from farming, we had milk cows, he sold milk, and then later on we had chickens, had about 300-400 chickens. So that's what we done, sold eggs, yeah. So you learn from little up, you know. It's not, life is not too easy from the way you have to work. Compared to what money that people makes today, you know. Yeah, compared to what we made when I was growing up on the farm. Didn't make a lot.
Sure.
Yeah. But I went to the school, Ansbrook School. I had 36 up in my class, you know. So they're all, I just lost the classmate, George Boomer passed on. So I think I have about three left, classmates, three of us. Yeah. But 36 in, so, yeah. So that's growing up then. Growing up then back in them days is different from where the people is today, you know, compare a different world. Yeah. But you didn't hear about, back then you had radio and then later on you got TV, but you didn't hear when I was growing up, you didn't hear about all this stuff that you turn the TV on, what's going on today, our world, our society. You know, how so much carrying on, and you can't even hardly step out the door anymore, you know. So much killing and going on, carrying on, you know. But back then, I was growing up, you never heard of stuff like that, what you hear on TV today. No. So that's what type of world we live in today, rough. Yeah.
What would be your advice for younger people or just anyone in general about what you've experienced and?
Well, I tell them that me growing up, you know, it was a little rough then. Today, you know, they're out there, they go to school, they get a good education. Young people, they can get a good job, they make good money. If you want to get ahead today, you gotta learn to put some back, money. You gotta lay some back so you get a better start, you know, in life, you know. Today, you know, when I come up here back in 1970, I bought this house for $22,500, which is a well-built home. You see, it's well-built. But today, heck, you can't even hardly buy a corner house for $22,500. Back here, they're selling these houses back here in Peterborough Road, $300,000. Allenbury Playhouse, $400,000. Yeah. And I don't, like I said, I don't know how people does it today, you know, for that type of money. It went for home. No, because it takes a long time to lay that type of money back, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the way life is today. But if you want to get started, you have to learn to put some back. Yeah.
Do you have kids or grandkids?
Huh?
Do you have children or grandchildren?
Oh yeah, yeah. And they're all doing good. I have one granddaughter. She's in nurses training out in Johnstown, and so she's doing. I think she got one. She did in the last year of training. Nurses. She's taking up nurses training. A good granddaughter. Yeah. Then I had one granddaughter, Tabitha. I think she was doing pretty good, and then she had diabetes and depression, you know. And I don't know what happened there, but anyway, a year ago she passed on, and that was too bad too. And she had Mia. That's one daughter. I think she's about 18, going on 20, out at Johnstown, going to nursing school, and she'll never see her graduate from nursing school. Then she has. Tabitha had twin daughters, and I think they're 15, about 15, and they're going to school, two twin daughters, and they're doing good. Like I said, she passed on. I guess something just happened, and she'll never see her children graduate. You know, too bad. Yeah. You know, that way.
Do you think your kids and your grandkids that you've passed anything on to them of your values of hard work and the things that you grew up with? Have you passed a lot of that on to them, do you think?
Maybe down the road, yeah. So, yep. So like I said, I'm pretty fortunate. I'm 91, I'll be 92 in December, so that's pretty fortunate. A lot of people today don't make it. I see a lot of people pass away in the 70s, latter part of 70s, 80s, I get the Perry County Times. A lot of people there, they don't make it. So I can count myself pretty fortunate. My dad, he passed away. He passed away in '89. He was 86. My mother, she's passed away in 2003. She was 95. So, so she lived a pretty good life too. But she worked on the farm, helped my dad, you know. And she worked on the farm. She would take care of the eggs, help out in the field, and then she'd work away at the crystal plant, Carlisle. She'd work and then go home and clean eggs, set up, clean eggs all night. So she was a hard-working mother. Yeah. So that's how you learned to appreciate life back then. That's what I say. The people today, they don't know the difference, because when I was growing up, you had that, you know, out in the fields and stuff. You knew how you got the money. But today, people, it's entirely different life people have today. They don't know what hard work is. You know, no. So that's the way it is. That's how you learn, though, in life. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like I said, when I worked in different jobs, and when I worked in different jobs, I always put some money back. I always kept back. And then when I come up here, we used to rent. We lived down in Mechanicsburg in a trailer. We lived in a trailer for a few years. I come up here in 1970. Ed Chester owned this place. He said, I walked in, looked at it. I said, boy, it was a well-built home. I said, what do you want for it? He said, I want $22,500. I don't want a penny less or a penny more. He was heading to Florida. So I bought it, and I looked at it. So like I said, we got a well-built home, and yeah. But like I said, the location stuff, the road here used to go straight down the bottom there, but it changed. We got more traffic today than what we had when we came up here back in 1970. But you have to go along with the flow. Yep. Yeah. So that's,
well, your story is really what we hear from all these veterans. You went and you served your country, and then you came back and raised a family, and you worked your whole life. And a lot of people see the big picture. They see a map of Korea, but they don't see the individual people. And so that's what we want to do with these videos, is say, here's a person who actually went and did it, and then you know what you did with your life.
I mean, over Korea, and the people over there, you know, they had sort of rough over there. Like I said, they were bombed out and everything, and so they had a pretty rough Korean people.
Well, I was in Korea in the 80s, and we were out in the rain for a week or so, and everybody was miserable. And we saw this old man plowing a rice paddy with a cow. And it was March. So it was maybe 45 degrees, maybe not quite freezing. He had bare feet. And we looked at him and said, well, maybe we don't have it so bad. He was a tough old guy.
They had pretty tough, like you said, they had rice paddies. They plowed, and it was dampness and water, you know, all that over there. So they didn't have it too easy for Korean people. Yeah, pretty rough over there. Yeah.
Well, I think that they appreciate what we did for them.
Yeah. So we went over, did a lot for them, helped them out and everything.
Yep, the South at least has done quite well since then.
Yeah.
So.